Okay, we'll get started. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the CSU BY training. Please note that this training is being recorded and will be posted on our website for your future reference. Before we get started, I want to go over a little bit of the Zoom functionality so that you know how to ask a question. As folks are joining, I am muting everybody so that we don't have any background noise. If you have any questions throughout this training, please enter them in the chat box, and I'll do my best to answer them. But as I am going to be going through these slides, it is my preference that you unmute your line and then ask a question. Otherwise, it is likely that I might miss your question. My name is Maria Hernandez. I am the Associate Director for Procurement and Contracts, and I will be guiding you through this training today. I will be assisting with the initial CSU BY deployment, but after the initial deployment, which might take us about a couple weeks to get everybody set up, your main point of contact is going to be Stephanie Garcia and Sabrina Rodriguez in my office. Moving forward, they will be your campus administrators for CSU BY. So again, any questions pertaining to CSU BY, you will direct them to either Stephanie or Sabrina or both. Stephanie and Sabrina are going to be joining me today through this training. I will be going over some of the introductions and introducing CSU BY and going over the demo, and Sabrina and Stephanie are going to be assisting me in that demonstration. So before we get started, I just want to go over our agenda for today. We are going to be discussing some key dates for CSU BY and the campus marketplace. We're going to provide you with information on what CSU BY is and where we are moving with the new platform. We will discuss the current and the future CSU BY functionality. We will then move on to discuss who is affected by the change, what suppliers are featured on CSU BY, what roles will be assigned in the new system, how do you request access to CSU BY, where to obtain information on CSU BY, and then we will move to the actual demonstration and user training. Finally, we will end with a Q&A, but please, as we go through this training, if you have any questions, please unmute yourself and ask your question. So first, I want to start with the timeline. Per the email that was sent out last week, and first I want to apologize for such the short notice of getting this deployment started and giving you such a short time to complete some of the tasks. But this is moving quite fast, so we're trying to keep up with it. So as you are aware, if you try to access the ESM Campus Marketplace, you can log in, but you cannot do any, you cannot place any orders. So effective May 25th, the site is down. However, you're still able to access it to view old orders. CSU BY is going to go live June 1st. That is Monday, June 1st. The last day to access the campus marketplace will be July 15th. With that said, if you have any need or maybe your fiscal officer has a need for a report, all the orders that have been placed while the campus marketplace was up, please run those reports by July 15th, download all that data, extract all those reports. Otherwise, the information is not going to be available. The information on Campus Marketplace is not going to be automatically sent over to the new CSU BY system. So, so again, please access the system before July 15th to get that information. Okay, so I know that we have a few individuals on the call that are being introduced to CSU BY for the first time, but are not aware of what the Campus Marketplace is or why it was created. So before we start discussing what CSU BY is, I want to just go over a little bit of why so the campus marketplace was created in the first place. So primarily it was created because it was not easy for you as the end user or us in the procurement department, not just us here at this campus, but system-wide, to find and use contract pricing. Contracts were posted on many sources, CSU Contractors, UC contract sites. We use state government sites, purchasing consortiums. There is all kinds of information out there. So that was the main reason why Campus Marketplace was created, so we can give us a unified way of accessing contract and pricing in one platform. So having different sites require different credentials, different login credentials. So, and then once you are logged in to find the pricing, us in the procurement office, we have to read the contract language. We have to determine if it meets our procurement requirements. Even if the contract is in place, it doesn't mean that we can automatically use that contract. And often we have to adopt some kind of contract or join a consortium before we can benefit from those pricing discounts. So that, you know, it's a lot of work. And you as the requester, you know, it's labor intensive. So what we found ourselves doing is just going straight to the vendor's site and placing orders for market price. And of course, that resulted in a lot of missed cost savings opportunities. So as a result of all this, in 2014, one of the campuses, Cal Poly Cremona, they headed this implementation of the campus marketplace, and it kind of grew into this common shared marketplace that now 18 campuses use. But as you are aware, campus marketplace has limitations. So that's why we are moving now to CSU BUY, which is a Jagger platform. This platform has more potential for enhancement than the current marketplace does. So that is why we're moving to CSU BUY. This is our first step in transforming the way that we manage the procure-to-pay process. And I'll talk about that a little bit more on what procure-to-pay is and what our vision of that system is going to be. So that is why we're changing. It creates a foundation for future implementation. It is going to create automated workflow, requisitioning, purchase orders. It will have AP functionality. It will have potentially integration with CFS and, you know, PeopleSoft and Oracle. And I'll talk a little bit more about that shortly. So currently, the CSU BUY system is functionally equivalent to the campus marketplace. So as we go through the demonstration, you're going to see that it's what the chancellor's office is calling a lift and shift. And this was created to mimic the campus marketplace because they wanted to create this ease of transition. So it won't be difficult for the campus to implement and the end users to use. So, so once we go through the demo, you'll see how similar in look and feel and functionality it has. What we envision for the CSU BUY in the future is to have this, what we're calling a procure-to-pay system. It's an end-to-end solution. We wanted to be able to have spend analytics. We want to be able to source. We want to contract. We want a total vendor management solution. We want to expand the campus marketplace to not just, you know, 25 catalogs, but to hundreds of catalogs that are available nationwide that we are not benefiting from right now. We wanted to be able to do invoicing. So that is the future. This implementation is going to help us reduce paperwork, reduce costs, mitigate risk, increase spend visibility, leverage our money, our spend, and you know, eliminate redundant systems and processes that we are using system-wide. So that is why system-wide, they're looking to bring all of these processes in under one unified platform. So this CSU BUY campus, CSU BUY marketplace is the first step to get us to that next phase. And again, I know I'm giving you a lot of information, but if you have questions throughout this, just unmute yourself. So I'm not going to go over, does somebody have a question? Okay. So I'm not going to go over in detail what we envision the future state of this procure-to-pay process, but I do want to let you know that this is, of course, all pending CABO approval. We got approval to roll out CSU Buy Marketplace. The remaining phases are still pending approval, but we're looking into implementing a guided shopping experience, requisitioning, purchase orders, receiving, invoicing, issuing of payments, everything all along the way, talking to our current ERP system, PeopleSoft. So all of the information will be integrated into one platform. So who is affected by this change? Right now, there are 18 campuses on the current ESN marketplace. Those 18 campuses are automatically going to be transferred to CSU Buy. The remaining campuses you see on the screen will be onboarded in the next few months. Over the next few years, of course, still pending CABO approval, deeper integration into CFS and Oracle will be provided, and it will give us additional functionality to streamline our procurement, accounts payable, and vendor management processes. So the university, our university, Dominguez Hills, is slated to be on a later phase of future implementation, pending, of course, CABO approval. So we are not going to be on wave one of this future implementation. So the campus probably won't see any additional changes besides CSU Buy until another couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
So currently, the vendors that were featured on the campus marketplace are featured in CSU Buy, and the transfer's office is working on adding more catalogs to the site. Right now, there are 25 catalogs. Not all of the catalogs are available to our campus because we have our purchasing policy, and until we can set policy controls, we will start making those other catalogs available. Right now, most of us are working remotely. I do want to let everybody know that the CSU Buy portal, the CSU Marketplace, cannot be used for personal use. It is strictly still meant to be used for CSU business only, and the pricing is offered to us as a state agency. So again, not for personal use and not for home deliveries. So the CSU Buy has rules. So if you already have an existing campus marketplace account, you do not have to worry about submitting a form to get a new account. Your account will automatically be entered into CSU Buy. If you previously had a transfer card only access, meaning you're a non-P card holder, you're going to have a shopper access, meaning you can add items to your cart, but you don't have the ability to complete the order, which means you will have to forward your card, which in the system is called a sign card, to a requester. The requester is a P card holder. This individual can complete the shopper's orders as well as complete their own orders. The campus administrators, Stephanie and Sabrina, are going to be your main point of contact, and they are the ones that are going to add, remove users, change roles, troubleshoot, help you with any issues in the system, especially in the next few weeks as we start to deploy this. The system administrator is the chancellor's office. There's one individual assigned to be the system-wide administrator. You will not have no contact with that system administrator. That is, the campus administrators will work directly and communicate directly with the system administrator in case we need to troubleshoot something that is out of our hands, or if new communication comes out from the chancellor's office that we need to communicate to you, the user. Okay. So the access request form has been uploaded. The web page was completed last night. So that is on the procurement and contracts website. We'll go through that shortly. If you are, again, existing users do not need to submit a new form. Your accounts will automatically be transferred. All new approvers, P-card and non-P-card users will need to submit a new access request form to get access to the portal. The transfer card users, which are the non-P-card holders, must identify one P-card holder who is going to be finalizing their orders. However, the system does have the capability, if that one P-card user is not available and somebody else in your office has a P-card, the system does have the ability to transfer the card to another P-card holder. And we'll go over that shortly. And again, the approvers must sign all access request forms before they are sent to our campus administrators for processing. The form does ask if you have completed the CSU BUY training. This is the CSU BUY training now. Individuals that are registered for this training will get a list from HR to verify your attendance. You can submit a new access request form. We will make this Zoom presentation training available on our website. So you would just have to acknowledge that you have attended the training. And again, the CSU Marketplace page has been, is ready to go on our webpage. And then we'll go there now. Can you please confirm that you can see the webpage?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, so same format as the Campus Marketplace, introduction about what CSU BUY is, effective June 1st, Monday. Your active production link is here. So if you follow the instructions on my first email to click on the link to set up your account, then your account is going to be ready to go. If you did not click on that link from that email that I sent last week, your account is not going to be set up. So most likely you're going to get an error and you're going to have to contact the campus administrator, Sabrina Rodriguez or Stephanie Garcia, to set up your account. The resource list has been, give me a sec as I mute everybody, I'm hearing background noise. The resource list has been updated. Your online training guide is here. Suppliers available in the system are here, and your access request form is here. Okay, give me a sec as I pull up the training site. Can you still see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So right now I'm on the test database for CSU BUY. As you can see, it looks very similar to Campus Marketplace. Once we go to the production side, it will the logo will be up here. The introduction message will be a little different, but the standard look and feel of the system is what you're looking at now. Just like in the Campus Marketplace, there is a section where we have an introductory message. This message is our office can change. So if we have information that we need to share with the campus, we will add that information here. You have your standard search function, and you have your vendor catalogs available here. if you scroll down, you can close them or expand. What I'm going to go over today before I transfer it, okay, give me a second before I move on. I have a couple questions. Does this mean that we won't have to put in POs anymore, or that process will still be the same? So that's a two-part question. I'm going to answer this one first. So this CSU Buy portal is right now it's still meant for P-card users. So you're going to continue to follow P-card policy. You're going to continue to follow procurement and contracts processes and procedures. So the requisitions through PeopleSoft are still going to be submitted through PeopleSoft. If your purchase is authorized on a P-card, then you will come to CSU Buy and place your order. Just like with the previous instruction with the campus marketplace, if the order, you should always start with the CSU Buy to place an order before you go outside the system and try to place an order. Second part of the question is, how about getting approvals for certain technology items? We still have to go through the process of getting approvals via email and order. And will there be any change in what things can be ordered via P-card and PO? So again, this CSU Buy deployment is meant to be a lift and shift. Nothing has changed except for the platform. You are still going to follow IT approval P-card policy. The future of CSU Buy is to allow for changes in how we do things, which will mean automated workflow, which will mean the way that we process requisitions, the way that we process purchase orders. But for now, nothing has changed. Until we go full deployment, nothing has changed. It's still business as usual. Just the platform you're doing it on has changed. Second question, will we have the use of CSU Buy to order from Amazon, or can we still use Amazon Business? We are working, as you can tell, there's a catalog for Amazon. Amazon Business Prime, which means that they will give us free shipping. So we are working to get that catalog turned on for our campus, but that still hasn't been finalized. So eventually, yes, you'll see Amazon on the CSU Buy marketplace, but for now, it hasn't been turned on yet. And if you want to use Amazon for purchases, we do have a campus Amazon business account. So if you want to request that, please email your campus administrators, Sabrina Rodriguez or Stephanie Garcia, and they can set you up with an Amazon business account. So you don't have to go to Amazon.com to place any orders. Of course, our preference is still to support the Staples contract. So if you cannot find something from Staples, of course, you are authorized to go and shop at Amazon Business. Another question, are there still purchase minimums? Yes. So right now with Staples, there's a $50 purchase limit. So you must purchase at least $50 to check out. With COVID-19, they have eliminated that $50 limit. But as soon as we resume normal operations, they will start to put that those restrictions back into the CSU Buy platform. And then I'll show you where to find which vendors have minimums. Okay, so these are the catalogs, and we call them punch-out catalogs because what happens is when you select it, it punches you out to another catalog. Oh, I think I just closed it by mistake. Can you see the punch out catalog?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And the way that you're going to know that you're in a punch-out catalog is you're going to see the CSU Buy logo. To come back into the CSU Buy website, all you have to do is either go cancel punch-out right here, and it'll bring you back into the CSU Buy marketplace. I will go over the search function right now, but what I really want to cover first is when you start using the system on Monday, the first thing that you should be doing is going to your user icon at the top right and setting up your profile. This is going to make life easy for you when you're trying to place orders. So come in here, enter your information, enter your time zone. Most importantly, what you want to do is go to default user settings. Your default user settings are going to allow you to set your address permanently so that you don't have to select it every time you place an order. So to set your default address, all you have to do is select address for profile, and it'll only give you two options, Dominguez Hills or OMP. So you'll select Dominguez Hills, enter your information, enter your building number, and then save it. I already have mine saved. Do the same thing for the second tab up here, the Build To. Once you add a new address for your profile, you'll have two options. This is a test site, so I'm seeing San Bernardino. So you'll select the only option that pops up in your screen, and this is going to be accounts payable, and then save it. The second thing you want to do is go to your payment options. In the campus marketplace, you had to enter your credit card every single time you had to place an order. In the new CSU Buy platform, you have the ability to save a credit card, and it automatically pops up when you place an order. All you have to do is enter the 3-digit code. So enter your information here and then save it so that when you go back and place an order, it automatically shows up. If you go to your user roles and access, assign roles, it'll tell you the level of access you have. So if you are a shopper, only have the ability to assign a card, it'll say shopper. If you're a requester, it'll say requester. If you're a campus administrator and you have access to everything, like Stephanie and Sabrina, you'll have access to everything. So this is just so that you know what kind of access you have. If you go to your notification preferences, you can select purchase orders and change in all your notifications by hitting edit at the top right. You can select to be notified, and it'll send you an email if a PO was sent to the supplier, if the PO was rejected. So you come in here and you select those preferences. User history is just going to give you a history of everything that has happened with your profile while during the course of your use of CSU Buy. So any changes that we make in the system will appear here. For instance, maybe you started as a shopper, but then you move to a requester, it'll give you that information there. So any questions on your profile, on setting up your profile before I move forward? Okay. So that is your profile. So that's the first thing that you should do. At the top, you have a bell, and that is your notifications. So if somebody has assigned a card to you, or if you have placed an order, if you have a pending order, it'll give you notifications up here. You have alerts, and you have your bookmarks. The little heart is bookmarks. So if you frequent a page often, or you frequently search for the same thing, you can save that search, and then you don't have to keep searching and selecting filters. It'll save that for you. Up here is your total for your cart, and we'll go over that a little bit shortly. To come back to the home page, you have two options. You can do, right now it's test, but in production it says CSU Buy, so you can click that. Or you can click the home icon. Your shopping cart icon is going to give you access to go to your previous orders. Stephanie will go over that. And then the paper with the clock icon is going to give you access to see all of your orders. Stephanie will go over that. And then the ribbon icon has access to the contracts in the system. For instance, we were talking about, somebody asked a question about order minimum. So if you select a contract, and I select Staples, you can see that Staples has a $50 minimum. It tells you when our contract is valid and ends. It's just information in case you need it. And I'm not going to go over the rest of it, as Stephanie will do reporting. So I'm going to go back to my home icon. As you can see, the system is pretty much the same as the Campus Marketplace. So what I'm going to do is start with just a simple scenario of how to place an order using both a punch-out catalog and the search function. So I am going to start by placing an order. And as I go through the order process, I will explain to you what each of the areas are, and then I'll transfer it over to Sabrina for the next scenario. So just, go in here and find something to purchase. I do want to remind you that even though you are purchasing, you have the ability to purchase technology items, furniture, you still have to follow the P-card and the purchasing policy. All right, so I am, did I not add my order? Give me a sec. Oh, apparently I missed there's a holiday, so let me cancel punch out and select another catalog. So I will go to Grainger. I'm just gonna find something to buy. I'll buy you. Sorry, I'm just having a bit of a hard time adding something to my cart. Okay, sorry, I'm not sure if this is the test environment or why it's giving me a hard time purchasing something. All right, so it added an item to my cart. So I'm gonna go to my cart, and then you're gonna go check out. And what it does, it punches you back into the CSU Buy platform. At the top, you see your cart total, and then here is the item that you added to your cart. Now I'm gonna go to my home because I want to show you, I want to add another item to my cart just so that you can see the search function. Let's search for a printer. So just like if you're going to go place an order to Staples or to Amazon, it's the same functionality. You have your filters. You can filter your order by vendor. You can use the simple search or the advanced search. So if you know the part number, manufacturer, the supplier that you want to purchase from, it gives you the opportunity to add more information. So I'm just going to, for ease of use, I'm just going to add this to my cart, but you also have the ability to find by lowest, highest cost. So I'm going to add 3 of these items to my cart. And as you can see, my total has now increased. So I'm going to say I'm done shopping. So I'm going to go back to my cart. And now I have 2 orders here. So the next step is if you are a shopper, you have a shopper role, you're not going to have this proceed to checkout button. All you're going to see is your assigned cart button. So you will proceed with that, and Sabrina will do that scenario next. But for now, I'm going to go to proceed to checkout, and it'll open up your next step. The system automatically generates a requisition number. Every order has a requisition number assigned to it. You have 6 tabs up here. This is the summary of your order. You can print the summary of your order if you wish. The second tab is taxes and shipping. In the test database, the tax is not auto-populated, but when you start shopping on Monday, the tax in the production site will be 9.5%. So you don't have to worry about that. So you can actually ignore this tab here. The third tab is a PO review. It just gives you an overview of your order. Then you have comments. The comments here will show up, for instance, if a shopper transferred a cart to me and I'm paying for the items and they send me a comment, it'll show up here, and I'll show you that in the next scenario. Your 5th tab is your attachments, and we'll talk about that at the next. You have the ability to add attachments. I don't know if we'll go over that, but you do have the ability to, just in the campus, just like in the campus marketplace, you were able to add internal notes and attachments. It's the same thing here. And in your history, it'll give you an overview of all of the actions that you have taken. New line added, removed. And then, so now we're gonna go back to our summary. And your first box here is going to give you your ability to edit with the pencil icon. So you will select the pencil icon in case you don't want to leave the generic name it assigns to it. You can change that to, for instance, I don't know, procurement break room supplies or something, or maybe somebody's name or something. And then I'm just going to save changes. Just a way of you to keep track of who you're placing orders for. Maybe an instructor is asking you to place something. And again, because I set my default, this information is already showing up, my ship to and my bill to. But you have the ability to edit here in case the person this order is going to is not in Wiltshire B485 as my default address states. You can come in here and edit that information here. You have the same thing, ability to do that with the bill to. Because I set my default, my credit card shows up. But if you notice here in red, you cannot proceed with your order until you correct these issues. This issue is the security code on the card. So I'm going to come in here and address that issue by adding my security code. Once you correct the issue, that message will go away. You have on this, just like with the campus marketplace, you have the ability to add a note or add an attachment here. Maybe for your own records, you want to add an attachment, maybe an email from a professor asking you to place something. You can add that here for your reference. The vendor is not going to get that attachment. That's just an internal record. Because the system is not generating tags, I'm going to go ahead and add it. But remember that you don't have to do this once we go to production. Okay, so now my items have tags applied. I don't think did I add it to both? Yeah, okay. So now you're done with your order, you reviewed it, and you're ready to place it. All you're going to do is hit place order. Now the requisition has been submitted. your requisition number, and your status is pending. So what do you do now? Well, you want to make sure that that order went to the vendor. So you'll go to your recent orders page. All you have to do here is click refresh. And then that pending, once the order is processed, that pending will change to completed, which should happen pretty easy, pretty fast. There you go. So there's your order. It's done. Stephanie will go over the next part, but I just want to quickly show you the purchase orders. So I placed an order for 2 vendors, Waxy and Graybar, under the same requisition. I only checked out once. When I completed the transaction, it automatically split my orders into 2, which is great because in the previous system, we had to do it twice. So now your request automatically gets split into 2, and you get 2 separate purchase order numbers, but the same requisition number. Let me check if we have any questions before we move forward. All right, so I'm gonna go back to my home icon. In the next scenario, I want to stop sharing my screen and I'm gonna turn it over to Sabrina. She is going to go over the assign card. So this is the shopper row, doesn't have a P card, we'll be transferring the card to an approver. In this case, the approver is going to be me. So I'm going to stop sharing. And then I'm going to continue to talk to you. I'm going to walk Sabrina through the process. So she'll share her screen. And as she does that, I'll answer some questions. Are there still purchase minimums? I think I answered that one already. Will the California tax issue be corrected? We had issues with my Staples account, yes. So we previously had issues with Staples, and I think it was CDW with their tax rate not matching the P-card reconciliation statement. So that issue has been resolved. It was resolved in the campus marketplace, but it was later on in the process. So we have been informed that we will no longer have that issue. If as Sabrina shared her screen, if you have a vendor that is charging you shipping, that it did not show up in the CSU Buy marketplace, then you will get an email saying this order is being applied a certain dollar of shipping. You know, that information will be corrected in CSU Buy, and your receipt will be modified to match your P-card reconciliation statement. So you shouldn't have any issues with that. All right, I see Sabrina is sharing her screen. And okay, open your sandbox. I see Zoom. It's thinking, it's thinking. It looks like you have it open already, Sabrina, on the top in one of your other tabs. There, okay, great. All right, so Sabrina, again, she has been assigned a role of a shopper. She's going to be assigning a cart. So she's going to go and place an order to select any vendor, except for B&H because it wasn't working. They are observing a holiday. Okay, so Sabrina is going to be searching for an item to purchase. Okay, so now she can check out and it'll punch her back into the CSU Buy platform. That sounds horrible, punch her back. Okay, so let's transfer the cart. Okay, so now you can see her items here. She has printers. So she must have added, so while we were testing the system, you added the same printer. So go ahead and, it's okay, just leave it, just for ease. She's ordering 4 printers. So what she's going to do now is assign a card. And again, Sabrina's a campus administrator. She has access to everything, but you as a shopper will only see one of those options. You won't see both. So go ahead and assign card. And now she's going to select who to assign the card to. So this information has been pre-populated, so she will only see one individual. And she has the ability to add a note to the person that she's sending the card to. Okay, so now the card has been assigned. I'm going to take over the screen again. Give me a sec. So now you can see that I get notification from, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not sure if you're seeing the email. But so now you get a notification saying that Sabrina has added completed an order. If she's added a comment in her notice, it will show up here at the bottom of the reason why she's requesting the item. So the neat thing with CSU Buy is that if you click this link, it'll take you straight to her cart. With the campus marketplace, it did not, and you had to go and find it. So I'm gonna go back to the order, and I'm gonna make sure that you can see my screen. Oh, I accidentally stopped sharing. All right, so now here is Sabrina's cart. It takes you straight to it. Also, remember you have your notifications up here that shows you if you have any items pending. So it's also here. So I have access, I'm her requester, so I'm going to continue to place the order for her. Same thing as before, you're going to go in here, confirm all information, change the name, maybe add a description for Sabrina, you know, maybe that it goes to Sabrina. Change the delivery location if applicable. And again, you have your error here because every time, although your credit card information is saved, your 3-digit code has to be entered. So I'm going to enter that, which is better than entering the entire card information as before. And now that error message has gone away. If Sabrina had entered a note, it will show up under this tab here and in the internal attachments here. So same as before, we go and we place the order. The requisition has been submitted. So that is scenario 2, assigning a card. Any questions on that? So as you can see, you have now the ability to go to multiple vendors and check out once. As before, you were only able to, you had to do it twice. Let me read this question before we move forward. Can the student assistant be assigned to a shopper role to do the shopping and then just have a staff member with a P card do the approval? The student assistant, how is the student assistant going to know what to buy unless they're told? Let me think about that. I don't know if I want to give student assistants access to the system. We'll get back to you on that one. Okay, so now we're here. We've completed our scenarios. The system is pretty easy to use. You know, nothing has really changed from the marketplace as far as, you know, how, the look and feel. So if you don't have any questions on the catalogs, how to place an order, I will transfer it over to Stephanie so that she can show you a little bit more about your order summaries and approval in your reporting. Please keep in mind that this is a test database and there's not a lot of information except what we have added to it as a test. So there might not be any reports or any data to extract, that much data to extract. All right, so I'm gonna stop sharing and then I'm gonna transfer it over to Stephanie so she can continue with the next part. And let me unmute you, or can you unmute yourself? There you go. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm first going to start off with the shopping cart. Here you can view your orders. So if you click on view carts, I don't have anything right now, so if I'm working on a cart, it would be on draft carts, and if I assign a cart to someone, it will be on assigned carts. Also, you can view your orders and filter them here. You have all these options. You can also filter it. If the date is missing, you could do a range, before or after. And here you click on the little paper, you click on my orders. And no, you do search and then you do all orders. And these are all the orders that, since I am the administrator, I'm able to see pretty much everyone's orders. But these are the ones we've done right now. And again, you can filter it same way as the other screen. You can add a filter. You can choose on whichever, how many, ever ones of these you want. You can search by name, Maria. And all the ones with Maria pop up. You can also save your searches. So you click up here and do save as. And since I typed in Maria, I'll just do Maria. And you can either add it to a personal folder or shared folder. I'll do personal. Maria. Save. And then it'll pop up here. So it'll make it easier. You can just click on here and then it'll show to the right. And just like in Campus Marketplace, you can export it. It'll export everything into an Excel file. You click export. Yeah. And then once you export, you go to manage search exports. You click on export requests for all orders. And everything exports into an Excel. So you can filter it from here however you would like. And it shows the amounts. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So again, if you go to search, all orders, just to show you, so I did one yesterday for the last 30 days. And since we just started this, so it'll be pretty much anything we've done in the last 2 days. And if you go to the little bar graph, you go to report exports. And here you're able to do whatever range you want. And then the status. So I'm going to do first. And we'll do completed. Since this is a test site, there isn't anything to export right now, but this is where you would go. And the results will be at the bottom. And that's it.
Oh my gosh, I was talking that whole time and there was no audio. Okay, thank you, Elena. As I was saying, Thank you, Stephanie, for your reporting demonstration. So to conclude it, if there's no other questions, I just want to remind you that the CSU BY webpage is up, and you can submit an access request form if you don't already have an account. If you already have an account, you are okay. Last week, I sent out an email with a pre-deployment task. That task instructed all users to click on the link and log back out. As soon as you clicked on the link, it created a shopper account for you. Now, over the weekend, I'm going to be changing that shopper account to a requester account if you already had that designation in the Campus Marketplace. So come Monday, your account will be ready to go with the Campus Marketplace role that you previously had, you'll have in CSU BY. So there's no further action for you to take. If you did not click on that link for the pre-deployment task, then you might have issues accessing the system, at which point you will have to contact the campus administrators to set you up with that account. Any other questions?
Maria, there was one question I listed in the chat. Would you please answer that?
Okay, give me a sec.
This is Raman, by the way.
Okay, Raman.
Thank you.
Does this mean that we don't have to put in POs anymore, or that process will still be the same? Oh, I thought I already addressed this, but I will. Okay, so again, the CSU BY doesn't change any of our processes. This is simply changing a platform from Campus Marketplace to CSU BY. Future functionality with CSU BY, future phases pending approval, will allow us to not have to enter requisitions anymore for a lot of things. And the system will allow you to enter a rec, create the purchase order. The purchase order goes straight to the vendor. So then future functionality means that you will have more, you will have the ability to not enter requisitions in PeopleSoft and go straight to the CSU BY Marketplace. For right now, that hasn't happened, and it won't happen until our campus goes, it fully implements the system. Of course, the full implementation is still pending approval by CABO. The second part of your question is, how about getting approvals for certain technology items? We will still have to go through the process of getting approvals via email and order. Will there be any change in the things we do via P-card or via PO? Again, nothing changes. Using CSU BY is the same as using the Campus Marketplace. If you are buying technology items, if you're buying furniture items, if you're buying anything that's restricted or requires pre-approval, you will have to follow the same process, because all of that backup, all of that documentation will have to be included with your P-card reconciliation at the end of the month.
Okay,
So nothing has changed. So the only thing that changed is the platform. ESM Solutions Campus Marketplace went away and it got replaced with CSU BY. That's it. Nothing else at this point has changed. Once the Chancellor's Office gets further along the deployment of the system, then we will be scheduling training so that we can show you what the next steps are, what we're implementing, what is going to change. But for right now, that's it.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Well, thank you so much for joining us today. This recording, including the PowerPoint, will be uploaded on our website at the conclusion of this training. And if you have any questions, please contact Stephanie and Sabrina. They are your campus administrators for all things CSU BY. And from there, I will pause the recording and thank you all again.